Welcome to another episode of UCRD Reviews. So today I have an older release. This one is the MS-06S Zaku II Char's Custom Model version anime. This one was made back in 2016, and obviously it's from Mobile Suit Gundam. This is Char's first mobile suit we see in the series before he ditches it for his Zagak. So it's an iconic, very iconic mobile suit. I think it's nearly as iconic as the Gundam itself. You know, it has a really cool statue of it fighting the Gundam in Japan, which I was so fortunate to get to see. And it's just, you know, very well-known robot in Japan and becoming very well-known here in the States as well. I never picked up Char Zaku figure, though. I never got it for various reasons. You know, there's a lot of figures of Char Zaku. There's the old MSIA, the second version, the extended MSIA. Kato Senshi made a figure of it. Tetsu Toys made a copy. And now we're getting it in Robot Spirits. I actually had the MSIA and extended MSIA versions of it, but I never bought the Robot Spirits. Just because, you know, there's a version of it that's a Tamashii exclusive, Tamashii Nations version that I really want instead of this. However, a friend of mine, a fellow YouTuber as well, Umbrellarocks, decided to let me borrow his figure so that I could review it, and that's what I have here today. So this is his figure that he bought. He didn't mind me taking it and taking a look at it and talking about it for a little bit. You know, it's Char Zaku. It's a really neat mobile suit. There's a lot of variations to the figures that have been released. You know, the MSIA had, I think there was a clear plastic version, final battle set, etc. There's variations within Robot Spirits line even. You know, you have, I think they made a first touch version and the Tamashii Nations one that I was talking about. So this is just the base figure though, so let's go ahead and take a look at it. So here is Char Aznable's Zaku II that most famously kicks the Gundam. So this is the same exact sculpt as the regular Zaku II figure that we've seen before. We'll go through the articulation, so the head will go up quite a bit and down, and then it'll do a full 360 turn. The top of the head can be removed, and you can move the mono eye in either direction, about that far. Go ahead and get it centered there. And the head just snaps right back on, pretty simple. The arms are ball jointed at the shoulder. They will actually come forward quite a bit, as you can see. The shoulder armor on this side looks like it's ball jointed, and then the shield can rotate around and come up slightly. Not a whole lot of movement. Well, I mean, it has a whole lot of movement, but it's limited by its design. You saw there is some chest flex there. The arm, each one will come up about that far, so not far at all, again, due to armor limitations. They will obviously rotate all the way around. It swivels up here on the bicep 360 degrees, and then you have a swivel down here as well in the elbow. Arms are double jointed. They have little hard points right there, and they have double ball jointed hands. In the chest, it'll come forward, and then it'll actually go, we'll go backward a little bit, so not a whole lot. The backpack is different than the regular Zaku IIs. You have more thrusters. They are effect part compatible, and then you have hard points for bazooka storage up here. You have a hard point to put the Zaku machine gun magazine or whatever you want there, and then another bazooka storage point. Hard points on the side for the heat hawk on either side. Skirt armor comes flying off. Look, Umbrella, I broke your figure already. Goes right back in there. So they're all ball jointed, and you can see the legs have the forward swiveling going on. Oh, my lights flickered. I guess it's raining really hard outside. Legs will come out about that far. You'll have the knee joints have a good amount of articulation. You have hard points on either side. I think those are for missile pods. We lost the skirt armor again. As you can see, this skirt armor is a little finicky. Granted, I have it way up in the air there. I forgot to mention, the waist will actually rotate all the way around. And then the feet here have a little bit of side-to-side movement. They'll come forward with toe articulation, thruster compatible, and they'll come downward about that far. So very articulated, doesn't really have a whole lot of thigh swivel, come out about like that, but it looks really, really nice. You know, I said in my Zaku II review long time ago, these are kind of a love it or hate it design. They're very line art driven designs, but I think they look good. The line's consistent. You know, I like things like that. So you also have a little hard point there on the shield for explosion effects, which we'll actually get into in a minute. So let's take a look at what Char Zaku comes with. Okay, so for accessories, you have the standard hand rack that all the version anime figures come with. You have two different kinds of posing hands. You have gun hands and heat hawk hands. You then get the regular run-of-the-mill 120mm Zaku machine gun with the little swiveling forward handle. It is effect part compatible. Magazine is removable, and that's the peg that will store on the Zaku itself. Paint looks good. Has a little camera painted in there. I don't like that there's nothing painted on the back, but the Zaku machine gun looks good. You do have the Zaku bazooka. If I can get it out of here. 280mm. Has the swiveling front handle, and then we've seen this 1,000 times. Camera swivels on either side. It is effect part compatible at the front here, and it is storable, and the handle swivels like so. Again, paint looks good. Rear of the camera is not really painted in. This isn't painted in, which is unfortunate, but what is painted looks good. And it has the storage options, which we've seen. So these are the storage for either side of the backpack, and the storage for the rear skirt armor. And I think it just kind of plugs in. Let's see if I can get it. There we go. Yeah, it just kind of snaps in. They all kind of rotate in. So works really well. And then lastly here for weaponry, we have the Heat Hawk. I think this deployed version's a little large. Looks good. It's painted good. And then you have the stored version with the peg. It is a squared peg, so you can't rotate it around, but it fits on just fine. And now we have the effect parts. So I did forget to mention that you do get a replacement antenna, which is nice. Wasn't present for the original Zaku II. You get the machine gun firing effect, which back when this figure first came out was a coveted effect part, because not many figures actually came with it. It looks great. You have two thrusters, which can be put on the various points in the backpack or the feet, and it works well. They do have curved pegs. I like the straight peg versions a bit more, but these work just fine. You do have a cool explosion effect, so you can really put it anywhere that has the squared peg or rectangular peg, but I think it looks best on the shield. You can even, I think you can put it on the arm here. Maybe I'm just lying. Maybe I'm full of it. There we go. So Char's blocking shots with his forearm. And then you have the big massive bazooka firing effect. Got a nice smoky paint to it. Plugs right into the bazooka. It is heavy, so you either need to have this with a two-handed pose or have a stand hold it up. You'll notice that this one almost looks like it's bent a little. It is kind of rubbery. It probably got warped a little bit, which is a possibility when you have this more rubbery plastic to it, but it looks good. It physically looks good. Like I said, it's just a little heavy. So this is a comparison between the Char Zaku figure and the MS-06 Zaku II figure. Now, the Zaku II figure was very different and had different accessories. You had the regular head and the commander type head. There was a lot more to it. The Char Zaku figure seems a little more effect part driven, where the Zaku II figure was just weapon accessory driven. So it's really nice to have both of them in your collection. Again, I don't actually own the Char Zaku. Maybe I should after this. Maybe I should go buy that Tamashii Nations version. But I said in the beginning of this review that they're the exact same sculpt. I shouldn't have used the word exact, because that's not true. There are some slight differences. You see in the legs here, Char Zaku has the little verniers there. Yeah, that's the only difference in the legs I see. The backpack's really the main thing. You'll see Char's backpack looks like a much more maneuverable version, and you can even see how they did it in the figure. This panel down here and these two darker panels up here are just removable, and they just sculpted these and plugged them in. So really simple. Otherwise they look the same, and what I said earlier was mostly true, but there are some slight differences. So I did want to show other than the color, what the sculpt differences were. Despite being an older figure, it wasn't a rare one by any means. It was a regular release, and you can still find it for a little over $30 before shipping pretty easily. It is a nice figure. It's a Zaku variation, and again, if the version anime Zaku is something you like, then this one's an excellent figure. It does come with all the accessories that I think it would need, a lot of effect parts, which are really, really cool, and it just looks really nice. Again, there are variations of Char Zaku in Robot Spirits. You have the, I think it came out with the first touch version where it was colored slightly different, and then the one that I'm thinking about getting, which is the Tamashii exclusive version where it has like the markings on it, and it's a little darker red color. Kunio Akawara made some line art where it was like super detailed. He made like the regular show line art, and then he did some like really detailed line art with markings and things, and I think that's what it's based on. Looks a lot better. Almost looks like Johnny Raiden Zaku, but maybe I'll review that one day if I get it. I'll probably talk about how much I hate it because it doesn't come with any accessories or anything like that, and it's like going to be $70-$80. But this one is fantastic if you're just wanting Char Zaku and you don't need anything special. It does come with the cool Xeon flag for the background in the box, which I think is a nice touch, and like I said, it's pretty readily available. So check out in the description below. I have a link to my old Zaku II review if you want to see more about that one, as well as Umbrellarocks' streaming YouTube channel. So again, thank you Umbrellarocks for letting me borrow this figure, and maybe we'll collaborate sometime in the near future. Thank you for watching, thank you for supporting the channel, and I'll see you next time.